because obviously you're the only 3 for right now, so I don't know where everybody else is. Of course, Juliana may have tried to sign on, 5 or 6 times already, and I keep cutting her off, but can't do anything about that. All right, here we go. Letter A is 50 square inches, and B is 70. Excuse me, 72 square centimeters. So.
Got check mark.
Check mark, and then what about you, Brianna? You too? Okay.
What the? My phone is standing there.
So the one thing I forgot to put in your packets was the passes that I have sitting here. I was here until 1:40 in the morning this morning, or 1:30 in the morning, doing report cards and everything. Well, hello, Juliana.
At least you didn't.
Juliana, do you wear a watch?
No.
Do you watch what you wear? Do you have anything with an alarm on it?
No.
And maybe you should get
No,
something.
I tried getting on, but I couldn't get on at first.
Do you have your practice?
I don't think I did it.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead on to the lesson then. Brianna, you're 1 away from a half lesson pass, so.
I'm using a half lesson pass.
Okay. All right. So let's go. For the rest of you who have yours, do you have yours with you, Juliana, or no?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I do.
Juliana, did you see that letter that was in there with your report card?
What letter?
Did you see your report card?
Yeah.
It was right in there with the report card. You couldn't have missed it. Do you have your report card right there with you?
No, it's downstairs.
Okay, make sure that you look at it, because it is a letter that's for your mom. It's a generic letter, but it explains some things about the report card, and also explains something about how to keep yourself on task for everything. So, did you do math test 20, Juliana?
Yeah.
Okay, where is it?
It's in the envelope.
Yeah, remember I said that the one test I do want you to send me a picture of is any test for math, and then the trial test for spelling, because that way I can get it back to you and let you know what you got, and you can do corrections on it. We don't have to keep waiting and waiting and waiting for you to get credit for those corrections. So that's why I want you to send me those.
Okay.
All right. All right. So you have your lesson?
I can't find it, so I don't think I did it.
Okay. All right. Another reason I sent that letter out right there. Okay, here we go. Number 1 is 0.6. 2 is 8 feet. Juliana, while we're doing this, why don't you go get that letter, pull it out of your report card envelope, and give it to your mom. Number 2 is 8 feet. 3 is 4 over 3. 4 is 20%. 5 is 108 square feet. 6 is 12 square yards. 7 is 900. 8 is 9. 9A is 1.1, and B is 110%. It's right up there, Timothy, with a red pen there. If you have any questions, basically, hold on one second, guys. Basically, in the it has the page numbers in there. If it's a correction, just cross out the old score and then put in the new just put a line through it and then put the new score, what they got. Capitalization counts half off if they get the right word for something and it's misspelled, though, then it's half off of that as well. All right, so here we go. Number 10. A is 9 over 20 and B is 45%. 11A is 4/5. B is 0.8. 12 is 13 1/8. 13 is 1. 14 is 97.22. 15 is 50 cents. All right. 16 is 8 ounces. 17 is 0.78. 18 is 1 times 10 to the 8th power plus 1 times 10 to the 7th power. 19 is 15. 20A is 1/8 square inches. B is 1/8. 21 is 27. 22 is $21.30. 23 is 30 centimeters. 24, 41 square centimeters. 25, 72 square centimeters. 26A is 8 and B is 8. 27 is 8.4. 28 is 420 divided by 7 equals 60. 29. You're supposed to have a drawing there. A is 5 centimeters. B is 31.4 centimeters. And then 30 is 315 miles. I mean, we just finished. All right. Eric, you didn't have it. Juliana, you didn't have it. Andre, what'd you get?
30.
Full lesson or half lesson?
Oh,
It's amazing how you guys are doing so well in the math now. And yet, on your test, you're not doing all that great.
I know my test. I don't know if I did test.
I was talking about test 19, but that's a different story.
I got what I get. I forgot.
You got a what?
I forgot what I got. I thought it was a 95.
Oh, and the last one, maybe you did.
Maybe it was test 18. I don't remember.
I'm not thinking specifically of you. I'm just thinking generally of people.
Oh.
Because there are several that doing really well suddenly on their math, but then on their test, they still stinking up the place. It's amazing how that works. All right. So, Andre, I'll hold on to this here right now. If you need to use it, let me know.
Yeah. Mr. Jones, can you,
Yeah.
when did you teach lesson 106, or did you not teach it?
When did I teach it? On Friday?
I don't remember hearing it. Was I
Yeah.
there? Was I there that moment?
Physically or mentally?
No, like physically.
I think you were here.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yep.
When you're farther away from your phone, it doesn't always pick up your voice.
Did you guys did you guys do practice for it?
Yeah.
Oh, then I wasn't there. I think I came in late.
Maybe. Yeah, you might have come in late. All right. So, Katie, no, all right, Brianna.
26.
All right, thank you.
Then my sister taught me the lesson.
She taught you the lesson?
Yeah.
Good. I did teach it. You were there for that part, I'm pretty sure. Maybe not. Maybe you didn't come into language.
Probably.
So what is it? Freezing in your bedroom right now?
Yeah.
All right. Let's look at 107 then. Yeah, out of however many points there are. And then some of them, they'll have like, they're like 5 numbers, but they'll have 2 parts to it, and some will have 1 part. I count every word that they're supposed to get correct. Everything. Like there's like a little circle they fill in, I'll count each of those. All right, guys. Guys recognize these?
Right angles.
Angles. This one on the bottom.
Obtuse.
Obtuse.
Right.
Right angle.
Acute.
Acute. Of course, the way you always remember the cute one is because it's small, and small things are always cuter than big things. All right. So now you see the second part there is talking about Well, there is a third one. I mean, a fourth one here that you didn't have in 5th grade. And that's this one.
Straight.
Called a straight angle, or we also know it as a line. But that is actually 180 degrees in measurement. If you start from here and you measure the angle all the way over there, it's 180 degrees altogether. And so that's important to understand as far as a straight line, because it's going to play a factor in some of the things that we're going to be doing as far as adding angles together in order to, or subtracting from the total 180 to find out what the distance of the other angle is. So if you look at example 1, they sort of give you that right now. It says if angle X is an acute angle, then what type of angle is angle Y? All right, and so you see there, X is the small one, Y is the larger one. Well, let's do this. Let's imagine that X is 50 degrees. All right, so what is Y? What's the measurement of Y? If X is 50, what's Y?
Oh, why? 150?
Yeah, 150, because the total has to be 180 for a line, and that's a line there. And so 50 on one side, 100 and, I'm sorry, no, it was 100. You said 150? No, that's not correct. Actually, sorry, 130 is what it should have been. So 50 on one side and 130 on the other. And so you measure it total, it'll always add up to 180 degrees on a straight line like that. All right. Now, look at example 2. It says that together angle X and angle Y form a straight angle. If the measure of angle X is 60, what's the measure of angle Y? And of course, they are basically doing the same thing I just did in that first one. So if it's 60, what's the second one?
120?
Yeah, in order to make it 180, it's 180 minus 60, which is equal to 120 degrees. Now, Eric, you look bored with this. Is this too easy for you? Should we hop you up to 7th grade math? Huh?
I know this stuff.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Okay. Well, then look at example 3. So tell me, what are the 3 angles that have their vertex at point A?
I don't know what a vertex is.
Oh, but you know this stuff, you said.
Yeah, I know a angle like 180 degrees, 360, 90, 45 degrees. I know what those all are, but I don't know what a vertex is. For me, it's easy to do the degree parts.
All right. So the vertex is the point which is in the middle of the angle, where the angle turns or where the line bends, whatever you want to call it. That's your vertex. It's like the point where the angle meets. So what would be the 3 angles that have their vertex at point A?
B, D, and C?
No, BDC doesn't even make an angle.
Oh!
GAC.
ADC, ADC.
Nope, ABC or ADC do not make an angle that starts with A in the middle or has A as the middle angle. You were correct, Brianna. You said BAD is one of them. What else, though? There are 2 others.
AB, AB,
CAB.
CAB is another one, or BAC. And then,
DAB.
no, DAB is the same thing as BAD. So they're both, bad dab is the same thing. DAC would be the other one, DAC or CAD. So it's where A is the middle letter there that makes it the angle. That's the vertex of the angle. Okay? You can't just call that angle A, by the way. Why not? Juliana, why do you think you can't? Go ahead, what?
Because there's other sides connect to it.
Yeah, we don't know which angle A we're talking about. You could be talking about BAD, you could be talking about CAD, or you can be talking about BAC. So you have no idea. So that's why you have to use the 3 letters in order to name them. Now, when you get to higher math, I'm just sitting in here remembering when Mr. Hicks was in my Algebra 2 class when I first came here. And you have problems when you get up into higher math. The problems are multiple step problems. Sometimes you have to do 5, 6, 7, 8 things before you get the answer. And we're only doing the easy thing right now, and that is 2-step problems. Don't let it confuse you, though. You think it's easy, but if you skip through without paying attention to what you're doing, you're going to cause yourself some problems. So look at that example 4. All right. So you have this as your equation. 3n minus 1 is equal to 20. So the 2 steps you have to do is first, you've got to get, well, the whole idea is to get n by itself. So Eric, you're smiling. You know how to do this? Oh, okay. So you have to get the n by itself. Now, normally, if it was just like this, if we had that, what would we, sorry, let me choose a different number there. If we had that, what would you do? The one on the bottom.
Divide.
Divide both sides by 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's one step. So you've got to get it to that point first. So you have a minus 1. So how do you get rid of minus 1?
Add it to 20.
Okay. So you add plus 1 to both sides. All right. So 1 minus 1 is equal to what?
0.
0. Okay. You guys see that? So these cancel each other out. The positive 1 and negative 1 cancel. Now you have just 3n over there. Okay. And then the other side end up, this is what you end up with, your equation. 3n equals 21. So now what is n equal to, Andre?
7.
Yeah, 7. So you see you divide both sides by 3. And then you can see that n equals 7 altogether. All right. Any questions about that? Who's behind you, Juliana?
My brother.
Oh, he's still alive?
What?
He's still alive?
Yeah.
Your mom hasn't seen the report card yet, has she?
Yeah, I think she did.
Oh, okay. She's biding for time. Okay. So, any questions about that? All right. Then I'll give you one. Get ready. Your white.
This is a marker for whiteboard. Yeah, it's markers on a whiteboard. Who said?
You guys ready?
No, it's not. It is.
You guys should write your names on your whiteboard. That way you know. You have a really good microphone there. I don't know if you guys realize people can hear you. Okay, you guys ready? All right. Here it goes. So tell me what x is equal to.
Wait, can you move it lower?
Can you see it? That's correct, Eric. That's correct, Brianna. Correct, Andre, and correct, Juliana. You guys do that in your head?
Yeah. I'll do you one.
Okay, good. That's good that you guys can do that. That's a good sign for you. Now solve that one.
Got you. Yeah. Give me a second.
7.
Nope. You're just guessing.
Get your whiteboard out.
Oh,
This is nothing you will be doing this year, but I'm just challenging you since you guys did the other one in your head. See if you can figure this one out.
give me a second. I'll find it.
I'll give you a hint. Get your X's on one side and then your numbers on the other. Brianna's giggling because she just loves algebra. I can tell.
Give me one. I got confused.
Here, I'll give you a hint.
I was one.
See how I got rid of the 3x on the one side? And then I did the same thing to the other side. So now what does that other side equal to? What is this side equal to? Apparently, Andre's head exploded.
Never mind. I'm
Were
gone.
were you looking for a calculator?
No. I just can't. I can't do it.
It's easy. See, look. Same thing that I did before where I got rid of that other number. Now I'm getting rid of the x's on one side to put it on the other. So I have 3x minus 3x is equal to 0, right? On that part.
Yeah.
Then this part is 4x minus 3x. So what's 4x minus 3x?
1x.
Right, just x, okay? So then you have x minus 6 is equal to 18 is left over,
Minus 6 minus.
okay? And so then what would x equal to?
Oh, 24.
Yeah, because you add 6 to both sides. So to get rid of the minus 6, you add 6. All right. That's not something that you would do this year, but that gives you a little bit of a heads up, a head start. So, all right, let's look at any other questions on that? Eric, what are you doing? You look like you're in pain.
I
Oh,
got my chair.
all right. Let's go ahead and look at language in.
Jesus, why can't you look?
All right.
Write A, C, B, word. Okay.
Think B on page 179. Any questions on anything there as far as what you had to do? You guys ready? Okay. This was not for a grade, so that's correct, right? Was that for a grade? No?
No.
Okay. All right. So here we go. Number 1, any and you should both be circled. Number 2, its should be circled and underlined, and it should be IT apostrophe S. That's one of the 4 that you're supposed to fix. Number 3, circle the him. Number 4, circle the what and it. Number 5, circle the he, the his self, and the he, and then his self should be himself. Number 6, you should circle the she and the her. Number 7, he, herself, him, and he. Then the herself should have just been her. He encouraged her to trust him. Number 8, he, her, everyone, someone should all be circled. Number 9, several, it, her should be circled. Number 10, that should be circled. Number 11, he on the second line should be circled. Number 12, you, I, you, and him should all be circled. Eric, did you do this at all or what?
Yeah.
You just didn't look like you were checking anything, so I wasn't sure. Can I see it? Well, way too blurry. Never mind. I can't see a thing. All right. So on number 12, though, the letter I or the word I there should be a me instead. Okay, so if you didn't get that correction on that one, that was your fourth correction. So, did anybody get them all right?
No,
Anybody get close?
no. I missed like 5, 7. Sure, should have missed that much.
Yeah, it's hard to see them sometimes. You know, you're just so used to seeing them as regular words that trying to pick out pronouns is not necessarily the easiest thing. All right, let's do remember C. The subjects, and I'll give you the blank and then the subject. On number 1, it's has, and then everybody should be underlined. Number 2, were, and many should be underlined. Number 3, has, and each should be underlined. Number 4, is, and neither should be underlined.
We did it together.
What's that?
We did,
Oh, we did those together yesterday? Oh, I forgot. All right. You know what I'm going to do? Well, I'll read you the sentences, and then we'll do the diagrams afterward. Number 1, your subjects are you, brother, and then did enjoy is your verb, and do over program. In fact, let me do this. Let's do them one at a time. So this is the way it would be set up. You would have your you and brother did enjoy as your verb right there, and then program goes after the straight line for the direct object. Okay. All right. On number 2, Gabriel is your subject. Wrote is your verb. There's also a second verb there, mailed. So you should have both of those, and both of those are action verbs. And then D-O over it, he mailed it, and then D-O over letter, mailed letter to him or to her. Oh, by the way, I graded your language tests for those of you that actually turned them in. There were 5 of you, and 1 of you did not. But the highest grade amongst the 5 of you that turned them in was a 64. Yes, that was the highest grade. Let me see if I can find them here really quickly. Brianna's like, what? That can't be. Yep, it were. Oh, did you guys look on the message, the chat room, the message that I sent a picture of? Somebody had turned in a, one of the, in fact, it's here, hold on, I'll show you. This right here, that has no name on it.
That's mine.
Is it yours? Okay. I figured it'd be easier to find out whose it was between you guys than it was for anybody else. Anyway, all right, so go back and find the tests. Aha. Oh, I was, no, that's correct. Okay, so. Yeah, and I didn't have Eric's here because he sent his on his phone on the picture. Maybe I did have it. I don't remember. Nope, I don't have it. But anyway, so yeah, the highest grade was a 64.5. That was Emma. And just that some of the things, like for instance, on part 2, the first thing it says, underline each subject 1 time. 2 or 3 of you forgot to do that at all. 2 of the 2 here, and I think Eric, you forgot to do it too. to underline the subject. So 3 of the 5 of you forgot to underline the subject. That's automatically 8 points or 10 points off right there. Okay, so that hurt. The sentence parts. Well, here's another one. I won't tell you whose this is. This part right here, where you're identifying the parts of speech. This is what I was thinking about when just looking in the book. Identifying the parts of speech. There was one person that only missed 4 out of the 7 in there. There's one person that missed all 7, and most of you missed 5 or 6. The rest of you. So identifying the parts of speech, and I noticed that a few of you were confusing the order that you were putting your direct object and your indirect object in. All right, so let's look at number 2. That's what made me think of it. So number 2, it says Gabriel wrote, and then what some of you were doing is you're putting her as the direct object. Well, that's not what he wrote. He didn't write a her. He wrote a letter to her. Okay, and so that becomes your indirect object, and the letter is what was written. All right, does that make sense? You got to keep that in order, and there are a few of them where people switched every time on a quiz. There were quizzes, and every time there was that particular instance, they were switching every single one of them. So, all right, let's look at number 2's.
Where are you going?
All right, for number 2 is somewhat like this. All right, and so it's set up like this. So you would have Gabriel as your subject. Is that your sister, Brianna?
Yes. Hi.
Hi, how you doing, Anastasia?
I'm good.
It's all right.
Watching her do her work.
We all need a break. All right. So anyway, you have your subject here, verb here. Actually, split verbs actually. So the verb on top is wrote, and then letter is your direct object here. Then your indirect object goes there, and then your bottom verb is mailed, and then it is your direct object. So did you guys do the diagramming on this?
I don't know. Wait, let me see.
I did it for some of them.
Brianna, did you write your diagrams in your book?
Yeah.
I don't know how you can sit them in there. Juliana, did you do your diagrams? I need to know whether you guys are getting these diagrams correct. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Or even just the underlining correct. Yes, no, so far, out of the 2? Yeah? Andre, what about you? Did you not do diagramming, Andre?
No, but I'm underlining.
You're what?
Wait. I thought I had my diagram.
Read the directions there, Andre. Not to mention the fact I reminded you yesterday. It said, mark the subjects, verbs, and the predicate nominative, direct objects, and indirect objects in the following sentences, and then diagram them on notebook paper.
Notebook paper. Mr. Jones, yesterday was Sunday.
Ma'am, you know what I mean. Last school day. Unless you want to start having school on the weekends.
Oh, yes. Brianna, that's fine.
Eric's like, wait a minute. Don't suggest that to my mom. She'd probably make me do it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a no, Andre?
Oh.
Oh.
So, Andre, if you didn't do them, what I want you to do as part of your homework tonight is I want you to do that first thing right after we're done here, and then send me a picture of it, of that diagramming, okay? And Juliana, do you have yours or no? No? Same thing. Eric, you have yours, right?
3 or 2, 3, 4. I have 4 of them. No,
You have 4 of them, then finish them up and do the same thing. I will finish with the underlining part though, and then Brianna, I'll send you a picture of the diagramming so you can check your diagramming, and then the rest of you, when you're done, send me a picture of what you diagrammed, then I'll send you a picture of the answers so you can check them off. Okay. All right. So we're gonna have to start counting everything that we do every day for points, or what? Just to make sure you guys get your work done. All right. So here we go. Continuing on. Number 3, teacher is your subject. Sent is your verb. Dio over him. Number 4, we is your subject. Saw is your verb. Dio over William. Daniel. Number 5, president subject is the verb. PN over Alexis. On the right side, secretary subject is the verb, and I is the predicate nominative. By the way, why is I and not me? It's one we've asked several times before. I see many looks of confusion here. Why is it, Eric? Why is that an I and not a me? Because they messed up in the book?
No.
Okay, then why?
Because we don't know who he is.
No, that's not. No, in fact, the person that's speaking is the one that's identifying themselves as I instead of me. Okay, what form is I in as a pronoun? What's the form? Go back to page number 173 or whatever it is. 160, maybe it's 160, 165. Go to, or 164, 165. Go ahead, Eric. Go back there. 164, 165. Juliana and Andre, 164, 165. So Andre,
Yeah.
whatever you're doing over there,
I'm ready.
don't do them now. Wait till we're done, then you can do them afterward.
I'm not doing
Anyway,
it.
so what form is the word I there as far as a pronoun, personal pronoun?
Singular, right? Person.
No, singular, but what column is it in?
Nominative case.
Nominative case. Okay. And what was the identification over I? PN, what does that stand for? What does PN stand?
Like possess.
Possessive noun.
Seriously, guys, look at the instructions at the top. Mark the subjects, verbs. What's the next thing?
Predicate nominative.
Thank you. Predicate nominatives. That's what PN stands for. A predicate nominative is connected to the subject by what kind of verb?
A link.
What?
A linking one.
Yes, by a linking verb. The linking verb there is. The predicate nominative is renaming the subject. It's in the predicate side of the sentence, and it's renaming or identifying with the subject. Okay, so that's why it has to be I, because the subject, it's equal to the subject, and you can't make the subject me because that's not a subjective case. That would be an objective case, and this is not an object. This is a nominative case. All right? I'm sure that'll stick in your brains all night. You'll be dreaming about it when you go to sleep in about an hour when you take your nap. All right, here we go. Number 6, Scoutmaster is your subject, gave is your verb, IO over us, and DO over badges. Number 7, R is the verb, U is the subject, and PN over Nathan. So you see there the PN is identifying with the subject. The reason that it's not, well, never mind. It's still identifying as a subject. It's renaming the subject of you. Number 8, Michael, I are your subject. Visited is your verb. DO over Seattle and DO over Portland. Number 9, she is your subject. Gabe is your verb. IO over him and DO over present. Then on the sentence on the right, he is your subject. Wrote is your verb. IO over her and DO over note. All right, number 10, He is your subject. Is your verb. TN over teacher. You know, Andre, you can do that after we're done.
No, I'm trying to correct you.
Huh?
I'm confused how I got most of these wrong. How can I get subjects and verbs wrong?
Oh. Well, just ask questions. What do you? I'm not sure how writing a diagram is going to help you figure out how you got it right. I mean, how you got it wrong.
I'm not writing a diagram.
Oh, okay. What's your question then? What do you have a misunderstanding on?
I
'Cause
just
that's
don't know-
why I'm here, to help you understand it.
I just don't know how I got the subjects and verbs wrong.
Well, subjects and verbs should be the things you guys know already. So
I know.
you always ask the question, find the verb first, then ask the question who or what to the verb. So what did you have as the verb and the subject for number 10?
Wait, was he right?
What's that?
Was he right?
He is correct.
Yeah.
Is your verb.
Oh, I put new as the verb. I don't know why.
How do you knew something?
I don't know. I should have asked questions. I forgot
Who
about
or what knew? Were you thinking KNEW knew?
Yeah. I know.
Okay.
My head was off and everything.
All right. Number 11, understood you is your subject. Give is your verb. Mother, recipe. Or mother is your IO and recipe is your DO. Number 12, dog catcher, sheriff, collector are your subjects. Is your verb and he is a predicate nominative. That person is identifying as all three people. All right. Any other questions? Does everybody understand? How many of you got most of those right? Okay. All right. Yeah, a wiggly hand probably doesn't mean you got most of them right. Did you correct them though?
I correct.
I
Did you
didn't get.
write down the things I told you? Okay. So make sure when you do your diagrams, then use the information that I gave you as we were covering it, so that way you can do your diagram correctly for those of you that didn't do your diagrams. Okay. And then I'll send a picture to Brianna of the answers to the diagrams. Uh-oh. What happened here? You guys all disappeared on me.
We all left the call.
Come on. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. For some reason I can't get you back. I can hear you guys. Let me see if this works. There we go. All right. That's weird. All right, got you back now. Okay, so let's look at the next page. Practicing with pronouns. You see that linking verb box there? Eric, you see that linking verb box there? You guys need to memorize those linking verbs. Okay, you should know those by now. But some of you probably don't. Go ahead and Brianna, why don't you start reading? Brianna, why don't you start reading the directions there?
Pronouns used as subjects or predicate nominatives must be in the nominative case. Nominative case pronouns: I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they. Predicate nominatives come only after linking verbs and can never be in prepositional phrases.
Okay, again, those prepositional phrases come in handy to know, to take them out of the sentence so that you don't confuse them with the subject, the verb, or the, in this particular case, other types of things. And so next part there, Eric, go ahead.
Pronouns used as direct objects, indirect objects, or objects of prepositions must be in objective case. Objective case pronouns: me, you, him, it, us, you, them. Direct objects and indirect objects come only after action verbs and can never be in prepositional phrases.
Okay. Okay. So you notice that the you and the its are all in parentheses in there. Why is that? What do you think, Juliana? We've talked about this before. Same thing on the one that Brianna read. Also, they're all in parentheses. Why is that? That gave you a hint, by the way. Go ahead.
Because they're in the nominative case.
No. What about why are they in parentheses in the adjective case one then? Your sister's really bugging you, isn't she? She must be bored to death now. No work. Tell her to go bake some bread or something. Tell her to make cookies.
I already did.
Oh, you can send some next Monday.
All right, I'll try.
I'll send you some from the school. Eric's like, yeah, I'll take some cookies. So anyway, tell me, come on, why is it in parentheses? Andre, you know everything. Come on.
Because they repeat themselves in different types of cases.
Okay, say that again, Eric.
Because they repeat themselves in different type of cases.
You're right. Very good. Exactly. Because you can be nominative or objective. It can be nominative or objective. Now, why do they have you twice in there? Both of those. Why do they have both yous in there, Andre? Nice smile on your face. Come on, why do they have two yous in there in parentheses?
Because they both have like two meanings.
They both have what?
They have two meanings in the nominative case.
You need to be closer to the phone because you keep breaking in and out because you're not close enough.
Oh my! I think I just moved my whole table.
That was too close.
It appears twice in the nominative case.
How? In what sense? That you're right, it does, but how does it appear twice? Why?
Because two meanings.
Because what?
It can have two meanings.
Yeah, again, you're too far away, so you can't hear you because you keep cutting in and out.
It can have two meanings.
Two meanings?
Yeah.
Like what?
Yes, I do. Say it.
Like
Okay,
direct.
let me ask you a question. Andre, if I'm talking about you personally, as opposed to the whole class, I can use the same word, can't I?
Now I understand.
Eric knows.
I know now.
So what is it?
Like
Oh,
you-
really? Okay. Juliana? I can see your eyes drooping there, Juliana. Brianna, go ahead. Why?
Because they're both in the nominative case and the objective case.
Well, that is true, but why is there two of them? Why did it have you in there twice? That's the whole question. I'll just tell you because you guys drive me nuts. You can be singular or plural. That's why. Because I can say you individually and talk to Andre, or I can say you as a group and talk to you as a class. That's then plural. So that's why they have it written there twice. Okay. All that for that little thing. I know. It was well worth it, wasn't it? All right. So it says, and think A. We're just going to go down to there. It says, think A. In the blank before each sentence, write the use of the pronoun. Write S for subject, PN for predicate nominative, DO for direct object, IO for indirect object, and OP for the object of the preposition. And then cross out the incorrect pronoun in parentheses. You have this side, the back side, there. And then you have think B, but don't do think C on 183. Now for think B, the instructions are to cross out each incorrect pronoun in the following sentence and write the correct pronoun form above it. So let's do think B there real quick. Number 1. Is there a problem with number 1 there, Juliana? Aside from the fact that it's homework.
Are we on think B?
Think B is what I said, yes. So you look to the incorrect pronoun form above it. Each one. It says if it's correct, put a C before it.
Do you mean it should be crossed out?
Take your eyeshadow brush back.
And what should be in place of it? Yeah. Samuel and I had an argument last night is what it should be, so that's good. Okay, what about number 2, Eric?
Is it correct?
I'm asking you the question. Is it correct?
Yeah.
50-50 chance. You are correct. It is correct. Yes, that is nothing wrong with that sentence. All right. Yeah. We're at number 3.
It was instead of
I'm sorry. Say it again.
correct. No.
It is correct. That is right. And some people might change that to, was it her who left her purse there? But it is, what was it she? Or if you change it around to regular sentence, she is who it was that left her purse there. She left her purse there is what you could say. All right, number 4, Andre. Enlighten us with your wisdom. Oh, sensei. Okay, and closer to the phone so we can hear you without knocking it over.
Okay, wait. Them is supposed to be changed to they.
That's correct. Them should be crossed out, and they should be written over top. Let's go back to A on think A on 181. All right. So you guys understand what to do in that exercise, and I think you guys will be able to handle that pretty easily. On this one, it says in the blank, you're going to write the use of the pronoun. Now, the pronoun is the one that's in parentheses. You got to choose the right one. And choosing the right one will, of course, tell you or help you to understand what the use is. And so a letter from Grandma and blank arrived today. Is it Grandma on she or Grandma on her, Andre? Which one should be crossed out?
Oh, she.
Her should be crossed out? She should be crossed out?
Yeah.
That one? Okay, that is correct. She should be crossed out. A letter from, of course, why is it, so what goes in the blank? What is her then? How is it used? Is it one of those 5 things there? Is it subject, predicate, nominative, DO, IO, or OP?
IO?
EO? I mean, PN?
What do you think, Eric?
PN?
PN? What do you think, Juliana?
PN.
Yeah, I heard you, Eric. What do you think, Juliana? PN. Also, what do you think, Brianna, for number 1?
PN.
And what do you think, again, Andre?
IO.
You said IO. So
Yes.
then, let me ask you a question. Where's the verb? What's the verb? Arrived. Okay. So who or what arrived?
Letter.
Letter and grandma.
Letter's your subject. Okay. Letter arrived. Right. What? Where is the? Let me ask you a question. What is from grandma and her? What is from grandma and her? What's it
Preposition phrase.
called? Which makes her a what?
An indirect
What does
object.
that make her, Eric? No, because an indirect object, you have to have a direct object. And if it's part of a prepositional phrase, that makes it the what of a preposition?
The subject.
Mr. Hicks is going nuts over here listening to this. But what's that?
The subject.
Prepositional phrase starts with a preposition and ends with a what? What does the prepositional phrase end with?
Object of preposition.
Thank you. Object of preposition. Yes. There you go. So in any of these, when you see the prepositional phrases in there, check those first, because if it's at the end of a prepositional phrase, you automatically know it's an object of preposition. Can't be any of the other things. If it's an action verb, if it's not part of a prepositional phrase, bless you, it's not part of a prepositional, check for an action verb. If it's an action verb and it occurs after the verb, then it can either be an indirect object or direct. If it receives action or it's not, if it's an indirect object, of course you would ask what's receiving the action and then to whom or for whom that is happening. Okay. How about number 2? What do you think the subject is? I'm sorry, which one is correct there, Juliana, for number 2?
He should be crossed out.
Which one should be crossed out?
He.
Anybody disagree with her? You disagree with yourself? Go ahead, Brianna. You disagree?
Him
You
should be crossed
think
out.
it should be him? That is correct. Why is that? Andre, enlighten us. Ooh. Wait a minute. Eric wants to help. Eric, why is that?
Why is
Why is it that him is?
what? Wait, what?
Why should him crossed out and not he? Why is he crossed out and not he?
Because it is the correct usage of the word. Oh, because it's the singular version.
Andre just accidentally got knocked out. I wonder if his power went out. Okay, say that again, Andre. I mean, Eric.
Because it is the singular version of the word.
Nope, have that.
And there-
Nothing to do with being singular. Okay. Look. What is? All right. Let's see if you can figure out what goes in the blank. What goes in the blank? Do you think?
Object of preposition. No.
Where's your preposition then?
Never mind.
Hey, Eric, can you turn that off, please?
Okay, I was lighting you up.
So, I appreciate that. You always wanted to be in lights, I know. So what is, okay, what kind of verb is it first?
What the verb is?
What kind of verb is it? Well, tell me what the verb is first, yes.
Is.
Is, okay. What kind of verb is that?
A linking verb?
Look at the linking verb. What the linking verb link the subject to that we've studied so far? Starts with a predicate and ends with a nominative.
Predicate nominative.
Oh, you guys are good. Linking verbs connect to predicate nominative. Action verbs connect to what thing?
Subject.
No. Everything connects the subject to something, but what action verbs mean can come as far as a complement after it. Everybody? Juliana? Okay. I want you guys get a 3x5 card or something to write on real quick. Okay? Something small that you can keep in your book. There. They're really starting to slow it down here. Every once in a while it says poor connection. I wonder if somebody else is doing it. All right. So this is what I want you to write down. Okay. And so those that are watching this video afterward who didn't come to class today or weren't able to come to class or who power ran out, looks like Andre's power ran out, then I want you to write this down on a card. Okay. If it's a linking verb, right now, the only thing that you'd be looking for is a predicate nominative, okay? That's the predicate nominative will come after linking verb. For right now, this is what we're doing. There's another one that we're going to be studying. It's called a predicate adjective, but we haven't gotten to it right now. It's going to be a predicate nominative with linking verb. You can put in a predicate nominative or predicate adjective, but right now, all we're doing is predicate nominative. If it's an action verb, then that a direct object or an indirect object. And you can only have an indirect object if you have a direct object. You can't have just an indirect object by itself. Thank you, sir. All done? Yeah, I will. Absolutely. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, they're supposed to get credit back, but that's okay because it's from last quarter anyway. So, all right, thank you, sir. All right, so an action verb, the only thing that come after an action verb is a direct object and indirect object. Okay, so write that down: action verb, direct, indirect object. Linking verb, predicate, predicate adjective. Those are the only things that can come with the linking verb. You can't have a direct object after a linking verb. Okay. As you're going through these, as you're doing these, of course, you know where the subject is, right? If it's in the subject part of the sentence, or if it is the subject, then you know that it's the subject. It's what the sentence is about. You find the verb, and you ask who or what did this thing. Okay. And the reason I'm emphasizing this to you and to use that card is because this is going to be for, all right, subject, and I'm sorry, not finding subject, but filling in the blank before it, and then also marking out the pronoun or marking out the incorrect one so that you leave the, okay? Any questions about that? All right. Well, I think you guys have probably about had it. So think A only is for points. Everybody understand that? All right. You guys have a wonderful day. We'll let you go and breathe now. Goodbye, everybody, and goodbye, Anastasia. Have a good day, you guys. Tomorrow.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.